Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there lived a little turtle named Toby. Toby was the smallest turtle in the whole wood. His shell was no bigger than a buttercup. But what Toby lacked in size, he made up for in curiosity. He loved to explore every nook and cranny of the forest floor.
Every morning I'd wake up early. I'd poke my tiny head out of my shell and look around. The world seemed so big to me, but that didn't stop me from wanting to see it all. I'd spend hours crawling over leaves and pebbles. Each day was a new adventure for me.
Toby had made many friends in the forest. There were the busy ants who always said hello. The chatty squirrels would wave from the treetops. Even the shy rabbits would hop over to say good morning. But Toby's best friend was a little frog named Bella. Bella lived on the other side of the river.
Bella and I met at the river's edge one day. We spent hours talking and laughing. Since then, I've wanted to visit Bella at her home. But there was one big problem. I was afraid of the river. The water looked so deep and fast. How could a tiny turtle like me ever cross it?
Every day, Toby would walk to the edge of the river. He would look across at the other side. He could see the tall reeds where Bella lived, but the river always seemed too wide. The water rushed by so quickly, Toby's little heart would beat fast just looking at it.
I tried to be brave. I dipped one tiny foot into the water, but as soon as I felt the cold rush, I'd pull back. Oh dear, I'd say. I'll never be able to visit Bella. I felt sad and a little scared. The river was just too big for such a small turtle.
One day, Toby sat by the river's edge. He was feeling very low. He watched the water swirl and splash. If only I were bigger, he thought, or braver. Toby didn't notice the old frog watching him from nearby. This was Grandpa Frog, the wisest creature in the forest. Grandpa Frog had seen Toby come to the river every day. He had watched the little turtle try to be brave. Now, seeing how sad Toby looked, Grandpa Frog decided to help.
"Hello there, little one," he said in a kind voice. "Why do you look so glum?"
Toby looked up at Grandpa Frog. He had never seen such a big frog before. Grandpa Frog's skin was wrinkled and his eyes twinkled with wisdom.
"Hello," Toby said shyly. "I'm Toby." He explained to Grandpa Frog about his friend Bella. He told him how he wanted to visit her but was too scared to cross the river.
Grandpa Frog listened carefully to Toby's story. When Toby finished, the old frog smiled.
"Ah, I see," he said. "You know, Toby, being brave doesn't mean not being scared. Being brave means doing something even when you are scared."
Toby's eyes widened. He had never thought about bravery like that before.
"But how can I cross the river?" Toby asked. "I'm so small and the water is so big."
Grandpa Frog chuckled. "Sometimes, little one, we need a little help from our friends." He pointed to a large lily pad floating nearby. "That lily pad could be your boat, and I could give you a little push to start your journey."
Toby looked at the lily pad. It did look big enough to hold him, but he still felt nervous.
"What if I fall off?" he asked.
Grandpa Frog smiled kindly. "That's where trust comes in, Toby. You must trust in yourself and in the help of others. Remember, courage grows when we face our fears."
Toby took a deep breath. He looked at the lily pad, then at Grandpa Frog. "Okay," he said in a small voice. "I'll try."
Grandpa Frog beamed with pride. He helped Toby onto the lily pad. "Remember to stay still," Grandpa Frog called.
The pad felt wobbly under Toby's feet, but it held his weight. Toby's heart was racing, but he didn't run away. With a gentle push from Grandpa Frog, the lily pad began to move. Toby nodded. He was too scared to move anyway. The lily pad floated out into the river. The water rushed around it. Toby closed his eyes tight. He was doing it. He was crossing the river. As the lily pad floated along, Toby began to feel a little braver. He opened one eye, then the other. The view from the middle of the river was amazing. He could see fish swimming below, dragonflies buzzed overhead, the sun sparkled on the water like diamonds. Toby began to enjoy the ride. Before he knew it, the lily pad bumped gently against the other shore. Toby had made it. He carefully stepped onto dry land. His legs felt a bit wobbly, but his heart was full of pride. He had crossed the big, scary river all by himself. Well, with a little help from Grandpa Frog and the lily pad.
As Toby caught his breath on the shore, he heard a familiar voice. "Toby, you made it!"
It was Bella. She was hopping up and down with excitement.
Toby's face broke into a big smile. He had done it. He had crossed the river to visit his friend. Bella rushed over to Toby.
"I saw you on the lily pad," she said. "You were so brave."
Toby felt his chest puff up with pride. I was scared, he admitted, but Grandpa Frog told me that being brave means doing things even when you're scared.
Bella nodded. That's so true, she said. And look at you now.
Toby looked back at the river. It still looked big and a bit scary, but now he knew he could cross it. He had faced his fear and come out the other side, and best of all, he was with his friend. Bella showed Toby around her side of the river. They explored the tall reeds and the muddy banks. As the day went on, Toby felt happier than he ever had before. He and Bella played games and shared stories. They watched the sun start to set over the river. The water glowed orange and pink. It was beautiful, not scary at all. Toby realized that sometimes the things we fear can turn out to be wonderful. As the sky grew dark, Toby knew it was time to go home. But this time he wasn't afraid. He knew he could cross the river.
Bella helped him onto another lily pad. Come back soon, she called as Toby began to float away.
Toby waved goodbye, feeling excited for his next visit. Back on his own shore, Toby found Grandpa Frog waiting for him.
Well done, little one, the old frog said. You've shown great courage today.
Toby felt proud. He thanked Grandpa Frog for his help and wisdom. As he walked home, Toby felt different. He felt braver and stronger. From that day on, Toby's adventures got bigger and bolder. He explored parts of the forest he had never seen before. He made new friends and tried new things. Sometimes he felt scared, but he remembered what he had learned. Being brave meant doing things even when they were scary. Toby visited Bella often after that. Each time he crossed the river, it got a little easier. He even taught other small animals how to use the lily pads. Toby was still the smallest turtle in the forest, but now everyone knew him as the bravest, and Toby knew that true courage comes from the heart, not from size.